So the management review, we need to consider actions from last year's management review, what recommendations were made last year. Then we need to review if there's any changes in external and internal issues, any changes in interested parties, changes in health and safety and environmental risks, and any changes in opportunity. We also need to review whether our objectives in our EM&B have been achieved, and we need to look at any trends in non-conformances. Is the non-conformances increasing or decreasing? Look at any trends in our monitoring data, checking if we've fulfilled all our compliance obligations in our CA and our EM&B, and also look at the trends in our internal audit results. You know, is the number of non-conformances increasing? That might be a problem. ISO also requires management to review whether our resources are adequate. You know, is our staffing resources sufficient? Do we need additional equipment or facilities? And then also to review whether there's been any communication from interested parties. For example, complaint from the local community, complaint from NGO. So that's what ISO requires us to review, very specific. And then ISO requires outputs from this meeting. We have to conclude, is our management system effective or not? Is there any recommendations for continual improvement? Do we need to change our management system? Do we need additional resources? If our objective has not been achieved, what action should we take? And then how to integrate our management system into our business process. So the output of this meeting, we need to document as documented information. So that means it's a report. It goes into our document control. Anybody can review it. It's a record. Okay. So that's just a reminder of why we have to do it and what are the outputs of this meeting. So first of all, ISO required us to review the recommendations from the last management review. So last year, top management made 8 recommendations. We've completed 7. We've covered the OPV storm drainage to prevent vehicle accident. We've cut the vegetation on Powerhouse Access Road. We've conducted a road safety awareness campaign to install lights and reflectors on local vehicles. We've purchased CPR and AED practice dummy and trained our staff. We've improved our snake preventative methods, including additional snake grabs, but as we'll see later, additional improvement is still required, and we provided anti-snake venom at Access Substation. The one recommendation from the Top Management Review 2023 was the purchase of the road test equipment for the overhead crane. That hasn't been done because the road to pole lift has been postponed. Next, ISO requires us to review our external and internal issues that may affect our management system. In 2022, we included COVID and forest fires. We've reviewed internally with the HSE team. We consider no additional external or internal issues. We did have an earthquake, which was felt on site, and that's the first time. But seismic events are already included in our management system, and you'll see later we did make an improvement. So we consider there's no additional external or internal factors that could affect our management system. Next is on changes of interested parties. So we've reviewed the list of interested parties. This is just a few. There's a lot more in the MP, including like NGOs, government departments. We consider there's no additional interested parties, so there's no need for change there. Next, ISO requires us to review our risk assessment. Are there any additional risks that need to be taken into account? In 2022, we included COVID and forest fires. In 2024, there's no new processes, there's no new equipment, there's no increase in generation, so there's no new risks that have been identified. Obviously, if we install a floating solar and attach it to our project, there will be some additional risks associated with that. But for this year, there's no change in the risk assessment and there's no new processes or equipment. Next is evaluation, compliance evaluation of achievement of our HSE objectives in our EMP OB. So it's quite a big document, but we have a database that we review each year, whether we're compliant, not compliant, or whether it's not applicable. There are actually 464 HSE actions over 19 management plans in the EMP. Some of those are duplicated, but anyway, there's a lot of actions. In 2022, we had 13 non-compliant and 408 compliant. Today, in 2024, we've assessed 442 are compliant and 22 are not applicable. So, an example of the not applicable, in the EMP we say the OPV swimming pool, we will install a security fence around to prevent the children drowning. So that's our safety action. However, at the moment, that action is not applicable because we don't have a swimming pool. Yeah. So, but everything else, we are compliant. So based on our data here, we consider that our performance for HSE is satisfactory and it shows a good effectiveness of our management system. Next, ISO requires us to look at trends in terms of incidents and corrective actions. So since the last top management review in 2023, we've only had 3 HSE incidents. We've had 2 level 1 incidents. One was a fuel spill at the Xenonoi guardhouse that is now closed out. And the second was property damage when a tree fell on the OPV fence, and that's now fixed. And we're working with the government to try and prevent the community from burning close to our facility. The second was a level 2. It could have been a lot worse, but anyway, its actual level was level 2 when the transfer conduit gate at the Zapian Dam was closed too fast. Water overflowed and it caused property damage or erosion on the Zapian rockfill. That is now closed. There's a new procedure in place. The damage has been repaired.
The other one was last year?
Yeah, last year, September last year. So the low number of HSE incidents indicates that the management system is working effectively to prevent incidents before they happen. Next, ISO requires us to review our monitoring data. Actually, we've got so much monitoring data that it's not possible to review everything today. We have like 26 parameters for the water quality monitoring. So this table just provides a summary of the results. So for the downstream rivers, all the results are compliant with the government standards. The same with our wastewater treatment plant effluent, our resettlements boreholes, and our OPV water supply. They're all compliant with the government standard. For our reservoir, we do have anoxic conditions, or no oxygen in the bottom of the reservoir, but there's no government standard. It's just, it isn't a problem. It would be better if we didn't have it, but we're not breaking any law or regulation or CA requirement.
Still, the recess, the small is the well, right?
What we install.
Install is like a
Yeah.
manual.
Yeah, it's not treated. It's just direct from the groundwater. So there's a different set of government standards.
That one is for their drinking or just
Well, they do drink it, but they should boil it.
should boil it?
Yeah,
We recommend that.
yeah.
How about the pumping machine is okay?
There is some damage that we repair from time to time, and
There is our obligation.
not going forward. That should be community development fund money.
By the way, they know some people who can come and fix it.
Salman has set up a civil team before they hand over. They set up water user group. So the water user group, they're supposed to be trained how to repair, and also in theory they should pay some small money each, and then when it needs to be repaired, they can use that fund. That's how water user group works for irrigation and for water supply.
I remember they have another type of pump, like they use electricity.
This is one of the recommendations from the resettlement committee. They want to install free electric pump next year to demonstrate if it works or not. My concern is if you install the electric pump, someone might steal, or the spare part is more expensive than the manual, more difficult for O&M. But anyway,
The fee.
an electricity fee, exactly, who pay, which household. So, but we've agreed to install free electric pump for demonstration.
Not in this dirt?
No, it's next year, it's part of the resettlement closure. Yeah, it's part of the resettlement closure. Okay, our fish catch monitoring does show a decrease in fish catch compared to before the project, but it's within the environmental objectives. Environmental flow compliant, vehicle speed limit is compliant. Noise in the powerhouse, we do have 3 areas: high noise, MP, Pelton, MIV, compressor room, but elsewhere is okay. And our HSE inspection has good result. So that's just a summary. We have some detail here. I won't go into too much detail, but you can see that this is our Xenonoi reservoir. This is a depth profile, and along the bottom is time. This is dissolved oxygen. Anything with blue is 5 milligrams of dissolved oxygen or above, which is good. Anything orange or red is 0 oxygen or less than 2, which is bad. So you can see actually the water quality in the reservoirs appears to be improving. If you compare this wet season to last wet season, we have more oxygen in the bottom of the reservoir, so that will help our biofilm and our fisheries and our water quality downstream. This is dissolved oxygen downstream for Huayuchan, Xenonoi, Zapian and our tailways in Seikon. The red line is the government standard, except occasional below. Dissolved oxygen is above the government standard. These are not significantly below the standard and no impact. For the tail race, you can see at the powerhouse we have very low dissolved oxygen, less than 3 milligrams per litre sometimes. If we discharge that directly into Seikon, this is not compliant with government standard and not compliant with the CA. Thankfully, we have 6 kilometres of tail race and various check dams and powerhouse labyrinth weir to re-aerate the water, and by the time it reaches the Seikon, the confluence between tail race and Seikon, it is above the government standard. Good news. Water quality at OPV is below government standard. I know sometimes we have the events where we have the black sediment in the discharge, but sometimes we have the black, when we're flushing the line, we have the black sediment, yeah. But in general, it's below the government standard. Oh no, sorry, this is our wastewater treatment plant, and this is our OPV water supply. And this is our compliance with our environmental flow discharge. This is presented on a monthly basis, and monthly O&M meters, and no need for me to go into that. Right. Next is ISO requires us to review the trends in terms of the findings of our internal audit. So we've set up an internal audit team. They're not HSE, they're a different department like finance or admin or O&M or civil. So there's not a conflict of interest. So in terms of overall results, since the start of the internal audits, we've had 14 non-conformances, and we've closed 13 out of 14, which is 92%. Then we've had 60 recommendations for opportunities for improvement, and we've closed out 51 out of 60, which is 85% closed. So remaining for the corrective action plan, we have one minor NCR, which is still open, and that is to improve the security at OPV and Powerhouse. The internal audit team considered that in the evening the gate is just wide open and cars just go in and out, nobody checked. So, okay, through the day, many staff have to go to Powerhouse. So maybe through the day we don't need to close the gate. But especially at the night time, we should have the current gate, the big metal gate, it's not easy to close and open. So we should try and improve the security by having like a toll gate you see on the Zapian Crest and Zenamnoi Dam Crest. So at night time close and check who is coming in and out.
So at the moment the guard in the night time they just sleep?
I don't know, you just drive in, nobody checks, nobody's there. So, I mean that's our observation, yeah? Nobody checked. So we've already discussed this with Mr. Choi. He's followed, there's been several management recommendations. One was to give the list of updated car registration and bike registration to the security guard. Also to instruct them to be more diligent, especially at the night time. Well, PNPC, because it's an additional facility, PNPC will install the toll gate, like physical body. And then we have 9 out of 6.
우리 한강을 태고 있어가지고
네.
비싼 거
그래서 그거를 설치를 지금
그걸로?
그건 아닌데 일단 우리는 톨게이트 수동운전 자동이 되는지 검토를 하고 있는데 오늘 말씀 지금 자동 테이프 말씀하시는 거네요. 저기 뭐냐 아파트나 이런 데 들어갈 때 차에다 딱 하는 거 여기 있으려고 모르겠는데
진짜 last about automation we have a installer that keep every car inside our
yeah.
automatically open and close.
Yeah. But this one's more expensive than the manual system.
Not easy to implement.
Yeah, and then if you lose the tag or something, or where to buy this one. What is the status of the manual system? I think already admin,
Yeah, we submit them
the design.
we submit, but we Propose to buy the toll gate like when at the
target to go to Pakse.
to Pakse, you see that they can easily use the remote control or use the.
We are talking about automation. So
Automated.
we
Yeah.
give everybody, not everybody, to our car, give them like a tag, some machine. So machine communicate each other.
Yeah.
They can open.
Yeah.
Like Bangkok Expressway, when you've got the fast pass.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, the system is have but it's quite expensive because you have to install more CCTV and then you have input the data in there. So when it read the plate and then it
But that one is after accident we check. This one is primitive. It's different.
Okay, well let's review further which style. I worry about the automated like the Pakse toll when they just press the button, because the security will just sit inside the security hub and not look. They'll just press the button each time.
아니 시큐리티 이것도 굳이 뭐 오토매틱 할 필요 없어.
밤에 안 있으나 말하는 나도 밤에 나가보는데
그러니까
근데
강제 시키지.
리스크를 반 중간에 닫아놨더만
그 강제 시키는 거 애들 일이 나서 강제 시키는 거예요.
야 미스터 스튜던트 we need to talk with Mr. Che. The check. Actually during the night time not many cars. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you have the toll gate closed, then as each car comes, the security come out, check, and then open the toll gate manually.
Manual is better.
Because otherwise, if they're in, they'll just hit the car and press the button and open, and just same condition.
Or you give them some signal like a basement in Korea. I don't know. If the car pass, then the siren, so he can go out, check. Oh, the car is approaching.
Let's review. We'll write.
하겠다야. 하루에 한두 번밖에 없거든 저녁 때. 그럼 저쪽 양쪽에서 차가 오면 디텍터하고 돌리는 거지. 그래, 뭐 차가 오는구나 하고.
Okay, we were writing to review the auto versus manual. The positives and the negatives. Okay, so the details are in the next slide. But anyway, given 92% of MCR closed and 85% of opportunities for improvement closed, this indicates a satisfactory or an effective management system. So here are the details. We don't need to go into too much, but yeah, we say install toll gate to be closed after 6 p.m. Better supervision of guests, update the car motorbike registration list, and refresh your training of security guards to check the vehicles. So they're the corrective actions. That's for the non-conformance, which is minor. These are the 9 opportunities for improvement. I won't go into the detail. Most of them were raised in August 2024, so they're still new. 4 out of the 9 is just updating the operational procedures. So CLIP have almost 30 operational procedures for health and safety. Some of them have not been reviewed and reissued for like 5 years. So it's not about making a new procedure or changing them significantly, but the procedure should be reviewed, and if it's no change, you just reissue with the new date. But it shows to the auditor that you've reviewed it, you consider no change, it's still okay, and that you sign off with the new date. Yeah. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, we don't need a whole new procedure. Maybe some minor changes or no change. Next, ISO requires us to review if we have adequate resources in terms of human resources, infrastructure such as guardhouse, security fence, equipment such as PPE, fire extinguisher, systems such as the SCADA and document control, and if we have enough budget. We've reviewed these resources, everything's in place, so that's good. Sometimes you have a list of what the things you need, but management doesn't support, top management doesn't support you, doesn't provide. So everything's been provided. In additional, during this year's review, we consider 3 additional items: crane load test equipment, increase the height of the snake fence, and better PPE for catching snakes.
Only 3? I have more.
No, this is just resources.
Resources.
Yeah, this is just. ISO requires us to review if we've had any complaints, and in 2024, no official complaints in terms of environment or safety. So now it's the conclusion of the top management meeting. ISO requires us to make a decision on several items. I have put in what we consider is the conclusion. So we review together. If you disagree or you have any additional, then please add. So the first, we consider that the management system is effective, and that's based on 7 out of 8 top management actions from 2023 being closed out. We've only had 3 incidents. All our EMP objectives are achieved. We've closed out a lot of the non-conformances and opportunities for improvement that were recommended by internal audit. And our HSE monitoring data shows good performance. So collectively from these outputs we say our management system is effective. We need to review if any changes in the system are required, because no new processes or no new equipment, we can say that the management system is suitable and no additional changes are required. ISO requires us to review whether we need additional resources. We've already done that. These 3 things are required. Oops. ISO requires us whether we need any action if our objectives are not achieved. Well, the compliance evaluation of the EMP shows that our objectives are achieved, so no additional action is required. And lastly, ISO requires us to, even if our management system is effective, we still need to improve. We cannot be stagnant. This is the whole idea of ISO. So we've already made a number of recommendations for internal approval, continual improvement for the period 2024 to 2025. Some of these are already installed, but they were done after the last top management review. So first is speed bump at OPV, that's an improvement already installed. Second, increase height of the snake fence and better PPE. Third is earthquake response checklist, so that's an improvement. Actually this is already done, but it was done since the last top management review. Toll gate for security, we've already discussed as the NCR. Since the top management review, we've put bunding around the heat exchangers because we need to clean them with water, and the water spreads out over the floor and causes a trip hazard. So now we have the bunding to improve the safety. We've also sealed the cracks in the construction joints in the powerhouse.
Where?
All over.
Wonderful.
Last partial overhaul, EGAT spilled some oil and it went through the crack and dripped onto some electrical equipment on the floor below.
Oh, really?
So potentially it could have been a big accident. So since the last management review, we've sealed the cracks. Yeah. And the last is the dam break analysis and update the EAP. So the dam break analysis is ongoing. So I guess the output now is: does anyone disagree with any of our conclusions, or does anyone have any additional recommendations for continuing review?
I have some. Maybe this one is already we are doing. One is like a PET-TR. The type is actually like an indoor type.
Yeah.
Installed in the outside. So now ENP working for like housing. And then some like what is it? The dehumidator.
Yeah.
There is one that we have to finish. Another thing that so I'm worried about that sometimes after we have a heavy rain around us behind our powerhouse, and then we might see some like a new waterfall. Someone probably said it's like a heritage from our construction, but actually that is very dangerous. That is not a natural fall. Already Mr. Lee mentioned that. That's why I asked Mr. Senchan to check some, especially 유자면 fall, because the water amount is quite a lot. So I asked him to take a picture underneath that when the spot the water falls. You made a lot of rocks, but it's okay. But already 2 years passed. And then I saw some other waterfalls also.
New waterfalls. So inspect the downstream of the new waterfalls.
So we can see the situation. If you need some like a protection, you have to do. Then one other thing is that the last time there was a flooding. Our like entrance of the powerhouse has been flooded. Every year we have some flood, but we need some like a drainage system.
Drainage.
Yeah. Luckily, that one is not inside to our house, but no one knows. And then behind the powerhouse, we have some like there is like temporary bombs. But I saw went there with Mr. Lee there. Some like bombs has been raised away, like washed away. So like the top level is lower. So we need some like concrete. Mr. Lee will working on that. And you know what? In case of sliding, this is rock area. Sliding causes not just the mud, the earth. That causes some like a big rock rolling down, the rock can come into our people. Maybe someone already seen that during the construction, you can see some like big rocks near here. Then it comes from the top because its diameter is like 2 meter, 3 meter. They can like travel 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers.
So inspect the risk of
Yeah.
boulders upstream of powerhouse and switchyard. Yeah.
But I'm okay because of Mr. Stewart's
Yeah.
house.
Jerome and Campana.
So always I'm worried about this. If it's necessary, we need some like a concrete wall behind us.
Or just blast the boulder.
The rest of the building is too large. That one is from the top, mountain. So, to check the situation. Very dangerous. I'm happy because of your buildings.
Yeah, protection.
And then sliding. Oh, last week there was some like a determination, right, of the UXO.
UXO, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Every time they do the explosion, they inform us because Friday you didn't come to me, and then suddenly I heard some like explosion.
범비.
They
They inform us every time they want to.
it's the first time that they come to meet us actually. They never come to.
Yeah, before they just detonate before, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe someone complained to them.
So we need to communicate with them every time they do. They should inform us, right?
Communicate with GOL
Yeah.
and company. Yeah.
That's it. And then procurement overhead crane, no test. Actually, there's
It's already in, yeah.
already in, right? But I'm very concerned about it's a lot of big, huge, and very heavy. You need some right place to put that the concrete test.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the cradle, the steel cradle should be indoors really, but the concrete can be stored outdoors. The concrete block.
I just tell people, Mr. Park, that we cannot buy, we can, manufacture at the site. So we need to find some right place. I think that work should be done. The place we are going to store that, like a concrete block.
Close by.
Close by, and we have to find some location to.
Yeah. For the cradle.
Yes, that's it.
Anyone else got any recommendations for improvement? I mean,
You have to see that most of the things in the list is I recommend. That should be from you.
sometimes we're too close, so we cannot see what needs improvement.
I think that's what I like to do during my work, but I want someone else to propose something should be improve something. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for your
Take a picture
time.
already?
Already.
You take a picture from here. One there. This is